Om 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 Sahana Vavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Vasudevasutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Vande Guru Paramparam Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Hari Om. So yesterday we saw up to the 7th verse of chapter 3. Today we are into the second day of chapter 3, the 14th episode of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Vedanta Shravana Sadhana Yajna through the lens of Bhagavan Adisankaracharya. So yesterday the verse was Karma Indriyani Samyamya Ye Aste Manasa Smaran. The individual who is controlling all the sense organs of action, which means the mouth, the hands, the legs, the organ of reproduction and the organ of excretion, is controlled. He is not expressing outside through these 5 sense organs of action because he wants to project to the world that he is a great Mahatma, he does not have any desires. But aste manasa smaran, individually he seems to be sitting quietly in meditation, but apparently in the meditation that he does, what he is doing is he is with his mind, he is going on thinking about the objects of sense pleasures, objects of form, objects of taste, object of touch, object of smell, and object of hearing. All these sense pleasures he is enjoying in his mind without expressing them through the sense organs of actions to make the world believe that he is a great meditator. So what does Krishna call these people? Indriyarthan. He goes behind the sense objects, the seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, touching, the form, the sound, the smell, the taste, and the feeling. Indriyarthan, such a person is a Vimudha Atma. He is a Vimudha. Visheshena Muda, very well closed. His mind is completely enclosed in darkness. He is closed and sealed in darkness. Such a person is called Mithyacharaha. Mithyachara means false achara. Achara is false behavior, false action. He is not speaking the truth. He is not living his truth. Sa uchyate. Now, what happens to the other kind of people who actually here the stress is on doing action? It is not about sitting in meditation without doing anything, just keeping eyes closed and body straight, erect, and sitting in. It is not about that. It is about functioning in the world. Like if I do not have that knowledge of who I am, if I don't know who I am, then I better function in this world. I do actions in this world. That is the other way for which the mind can be purified. So yes, the next verse, 7th verse is Yastvindriyani samyamya. Sorry. Yastvindriyani manasa niyamyarabhaterjuna karmendriyai karma yogam asaktasya vishishyate. Yahatu, that person, indriyani manasa niyamya. He has begun controlling the sense organs of perception through the mind. With the help of the mind, he has started practicing that he is not wanting any pleasures in the world. He is controlling with his mind. He has begun that control, the practice of self-control. Niyamya arabate Arjuna. O Arjuna, Rujutvat iti Arjunaha. The one who is very straightforward is Arjuna. So to that Arjuna he is saying, he is indicating that Arjuna is that kind of a person who started controlling his sense organs. So niyamya, nishchayena yamayati, controlling, bringing to a control. Karma indriyaihi karma yogam asaktaha saha vishishyate. Such a person who has controlled the sense organs of perception now can begin to express through these sense organs of action in what? In not doing anything else but doing one's own karma yoga. Karma yoga means the yoga which has been given to that person, the action which has been prescribed to that person, the action of a mother, the action of a father, meaning discharging of a responsibilities, the action of a teacher, the action of a student, the action of a player, the action of a musician, the action of a dancer. There are so many fields in this world in which we can express, and we are very good at expressing. So karma indriyaihi karma yogam. The person is engaging in karma yoga, and this whole chapter will explain what is this karma yoga. Such a person is asaktaha. Asaktaha means he is not interested in the results of the action, which means I am not doing an action because of something I will get out of it. I am doing an action because it has to be done and I am able to do it, and I love contributing to the world. So that is why I do the action. I don't do it because it will give me name, it will give me fame, it will give me money, it will give me a raise, it will give me promotion. So this is the basis of karma yoga. Karma yoga is asaktaha. I have no interest whatsoever in what the action is going to give me as a result. The experience the action is going to bring to me as a result. When I do the action, I get the experience of joy. I get the feeling of joy. That itself is the greatest benefit. So karmendriyaihi karma yogam asaktaha saha vishishyate. Such a person is excellent. Such a person excels in life. So yahatu Bhagavan Adisankaracharya says, Punaha karmani adhikritaha ajnaha buddhindriyani manasa niyamya arabate Arjuna karmendriyaihi vak pani adibihi. So the one person who is karmani adhikritaha, who is fit for doing some action. See, when you say do an action, it is not about doing any action we like. Suppose there is a police work to be done by an IPS officer. The IPS officer has to be an adhikari for that job, which means he has to write the exam, he has to go through the interview, he has to pass the exam, he has to be declared that he is an IPS officer, and he has to be given the uniforms, inducted into service, and then he engages in the action. So he is an adhikari for that action. The same action cannot be done by somebody else who is just who is going to the shop, getting a similar dress, getting a similar badge, and going and doing that action. That is the difference between an adhikari for a job and a non-adhikari for a job. Adhikritaha, ajnaha, even if that person does not know who his true self is or her true self is, buddhi indriyani samyamya, controlling all the sense organs of perception with the mind, niyamya, arabate Arjuna karmendriyaihi vakpani adibihi, with the organs of speech, hands and legs, he begins to do work. Kim arabate iti aha, what does he begin? Karma yogam arabate asaktaha san savishishyate itarasmat mithyacharat. So other than this previous verse which called out that mithyachara, the one who is just controlling the sense organs of action and simply pretending to sit in meditation, is a person who is of false behavior, mithyachara. Other than that is this karma yogi who is fit for doing that karma, who controls his organs of perception. He does not allow the mind to wander through the five sense organs of perception, and he is engaging the sense organs of action into that particular action for which he is fit for, he is cut out for, he has been engaged, yoked in. So that's very important. It is not just doing any work, it is doing the work that we have been trained for and we have been qualified to do and we have been engaged and inducted into doing without expectation of any results of the action. So this is the basis for a very beautiful society is being described in chapter 3. How do we have a harmonious society? How do we have a society where everybody cooperates in some common work and there is no selfishness? Everybody brings out their best selflessly. How such a nation can be prosperous? The whole blueprint for that is there in the chapter 3 of the Bhagavad Gita. Yata evam ataha. Why is this so? Why does that person who engages himself in action without expecting results for his own self, personal preferences and results, why do you say he's special? Why do you say he's excellent? Because he's telling Arjuna, you do such type of actions, Arjuna. What type of actions? Niyatam kuru karmatvam karmajyayo hya karmanaha sharirayatra pichate na prasiddhyet akarmanaha. So Arjuna's first preference was to run away from action. He didn't want to do the action. He said, I will drop my bow and arrow. I will go to Himalayas. I will take a bhiksha vessel. I will beg. That is what he says. Instead of being killed by these people or killing these people, it is better to beg and live our life. It is not the life of a kshatriya to go and beg everybody. So, Bhagavan Shri Krishna is telling about the importance of action. We have to do action. As long as this self-realization is not there, as long as I do not know who I am, the only other option is to act in this world. And how to act, what to do? Niyatam kuru karmatvam. O Arjuna, you do that action which has been prescribed to you, which you are doing daily, which you are supposed to do daily. Meaning in this context, it is the war which he is fighting, which he has been training for all these years, which he has participated in so many wars, won so many wars, and he knows the art of warfare. Niyatam kuru karmatvam. You do that action. Karma. Why should you do action? Karma jayaha hi akarmanaha. Instead of just sitting without doing anything, to do some action is very good. Why? Because the whole body, the machine of this human body, is designed to act only. Sharira yatra pichate na prasiddhyet akarmanaha. Even if I am going to, actually there is nothing that we do with this body which is non-action. Even sleeping is an action. Even sitting quietly without doing anything is an action. Even sitting simply and just thinking, looking at the corner of that wall and seeing what happens there, which insect came out, which insect went in, is an action. So there is no inaction actually. So if you want to go on this journey of life, Sharira yatra apichate na prasiddhyet, you will not attain victory in anything. Just imagine, you cannot be sitting without doing anything. Sitting is an action, by the way. Okay, even if you say sitting or lying down, you have to get up in the morning, sometime or the other, maybe not 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. You have to get at 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 or 11 or 12 or even 3 o'clock. You have to get up at some point of time. You have to get out of your bed. You have to wash your face. You have to brush your teeth. You have to take a bath. You have to fill yourself different times. And even if you fill yourself, everything is adequately available. If you do not move around, you will not stay healthy. You have to. Sharira yatra pichate. Perfection in this world, akarmanaha, by sitting without doing anything. So you do action, Arjuna. Niyatam kuru. Whatever action has been enjoined for you to do, you please do that action. Niyatam nityam yo yasmin karmani adhikritaha phalaya cha ashrutam tad niyatam karma tat kuru tvam he Arjuna. O Arjuna, whatever action you have been declared as fit to do without expecting any personal results for your own, go ahead and do those actions. Yataha, because karma jyayaha adhikataram phalataha hi yasmat akarmanaha akaranat anarambhat. Doing an action is very good rather than sitting without doing any action or sitting simply without beginning any action. Some people don't even begin to do actions because they are afraid of failure, they're afraid of obstacles. Some people start the action, and when obstacles come, they drop the action. Some people, they they do not think about doing any action because of fear of failure and obstacles. So adhikataram, doing an action is much, much, much better. Doing the right action, meaning doing one's own swadharma, one's own duty, is much, much, much better than not doing anything at all, not beginning any action at all. Katham sharira yatra sharira sthitihi api chate tava na prasiddhayet prasiddhim na gachet akarmanaha akaranat. So how is it that without doing action, even your life journey will not progress successfully? Ataha drishtaha karma akarmanoho visheshaha loke. It has been shown that in the world, what is the expression of action and what is the expression of inaction? Yatacha manyase bandhartatvat karma na kartavyam iti tadapi asat katham. Suppose you think that if I do this action, I will get into bondage. So that is the reason why he calls it ghora karma. He calls it the action which will bind him into rajas, this action of war. And if you say, Arjuna, that because it binds you, you will not do it, then listen to this. Why is it so? There is a manufacturing process of human being. Action is inbuilt in that manufacturing process. If you are born as a human being, you have been born with the capacity to act and attain results for yourself in your life. Yajñarthat karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangas samachara. Very beautiful verse. Yajna arthat karmanaha anyatra lokaha ayam karma bandhanaha. Action will bind you, Arjuna, in this world. When you act in this world, that action has the capacity to bind you, meaning it will make you do that action repeatedly. The process of action is, impression is already there. From the impression, from the core beliefs, you get thoughts. Then the thoughts produce feelings, emotions, and moods. The feelings, emotions, and moods propels you into action, and you do action. When you do action, you get a result. That result is either you feel good or you don't feel good, or you are between feeling good and no good. You don't feel anything. So 3 types of results are there. Those results are imprinted in our psyche, and that imprint will raise further thoughts, creates further feelings, emotions, and moods. Those feelings, emotions, moods propel us into actions. Without even our control, this process is set in. So that is called bandha. That is called karma bandha. We are not doing an action because we love to do and we want to do it, we are doing it without our control. That is karma bandha. Like all these habitual patterns of drinking, smoking, and other thing is all karma bandha. Once you get some kind of a desire imprinted into your psyche because of the action, you are propelled to do the same action again and again, even though you do not want it, even though you do not want to give, you want to give it up, you don't have a choice. Karma bandhanaha. Why does this propulsion and why does this force get set into motion where you are propelled to do action without your choice? If the action is not done out of the purpose for a yajna, if a cricket player is not playing for the nation, he wants to play because he wants to attain fame and he wants to become rich, then that action which he is playing will become a bondage for him, and he will be compelled to play even though he may not want to play at one point of time. Whereas if he is just hitting every ball and throwing every ball with love for the nation in his heart and he wants to win the game for the country, then that action will not bind him. But that action becomes a yajna. Any action can become a yajna. It is not that yajna in those days, what Krishna refers to is that in the Havan Kunda, the substances are put there and the twigs are put there, the fire is raised, and swaha offerings are made. That's a yajna, no doubt. But in the modern context, in the modern understanding, any action that we put out into the world becomes a yajna. For the sake of yajna, for the sake of offering, no, I offer myself unto you, I offer myself unto this company, I offer myself to the society, I offer myself to this country, I offer myself to nature, I offer myself to the world, I offer myself to the students, I offer myself to the teachers, I offer myself to my friends, I offer myself to my family, I offer myself to all my relatives. In whatever way we want to offer, to whichever groups of people or individual persons in this world we want to offer, or even to animals, to plants, we can serve anybody and anything in this world. And service is nothing but offering. If I do not do action for the sake of offering, this world will bind me. Why? Tadartham. Therefore, Arjuna, Kaunteya, son of Kunti. Kunti is brought here because she's a great tapasvi who has endured so many hardships to bring up her 5 children, 2 of whom are Madri's children from her husband Pandu. So he brings Arjuna, he brings to Arjuna's memory Kunti's name. You are Kunti's son, Arjuna. So you should know better about doing actions. Tadartham. Therefore, karma kaunteya, you do action. But how you should do action is very important. Mukta sangaha. Be free of attachment to the results. And be free of the attachment to the thought that I am doing the action. This I, this individual, this Arjuna, this limited name and form is doing this action of fighting this war. No. Be free of that thought. Be free of whatever the war is going to bring you as a result, whether it's going to bring you success or bring you failure. Be free of that also. Mukta sangaha. Be free of attachment to these two thoughts. Samachara. So when you're free of attachment, when you are free of the thought that I want to get this, I don't like, I'm okay with whatever results come, then I am not doing the action. It can be anybody who has been doing that action. I'm not doing. When you say I'm not doing, we give up the doership. And then when we say I do not expect any particular result, we give up the enjoyership. So there is no motivation for action. When there is no motivation to do action, the other choice would be to just do the action sloppily and get away with it. But Krishna is here introducing a very beautiful word, samachara, samyak achara. Do the action well. Even if it may be a free service you're doing to somebody, do it well, do it meticulously, do it very beautifully. Do put your heart and soul into that work and do the work, like Hanuman did for Sri Rama. So that is the way by which you do an action, samachara. Hanuman is a perfect example for this. Mukta sangas samachara. He is not identified with himself as the doer of the action, and he takes Rama's name, and for the public cause he wants success not for himself but for the sake of Rama. So he is not attached to success for his own nature, for his own experience, but for the sake of his boss, he wants it. And at the same time, how is he doing the action? Samachara, samyak achara. Whatever obstacles come in the best manner possible, he executes those obstacles. In the best manner possible, he gives Lankini a punch on the nose and puts her down. In the best manner possible, when the situation demands, he burns Lanka. And in the best manner possible, he just returns back without bringing Sita, because what is the best thing that can be done is for Rama to come and fight the war and take Sita. And so he just goes back. He does not put himself into the picture at any point of time, tries to brag about himself, try to boast about himself and spoil the show at any place. Mukta Sangaha Samachara. In the same way, do action, Arjuna, Samyak Achara. Here, Bhagavan Adisankaracharya very beautifully comments on this. Yajno vai Vishnuhu Taitriya Samhita iti Shruter Yajna Ishwaraha tadartham yat kriyate tat yajnartham karma. The Taitriya Samhita says, Yajno vai Vishnuhu. Bhagavan Vishnu is Yajna. Offering is Bhagavan. So whatever action you do it for the sake of Yajna. Do it for the sake of Ishwara. Tasmat karmanaha anyatra anyena karmana lokaha ayam adhikritaha karmakrit karma bandhanam yasya saha ayam karma bandhanaha lokaha natu yajnarthat ataha. If you do not do for the sake of yajna, the action will bind you. The world will bind you in the process of doing this action. Tadartham yajnartham karma kaunteya mukta sangaha. Do the action for the sake of yajna, O Kaunteya, O Arjuna. And how to do it? Mukta Sangaha means karma phala sanga varjitaha. Being free of the result of the action. San samachara nirvartaya. Do the action. Samachara means be excellent in the action that you do. Perform the action well. Samyak achara. Ishwara Arpan, and do the action well. Itaha cha adhikritena karma kartavyam. So, how the person who is an adhikari for this karma, who is only fit for this action, who has been enjoined to do this action, that action only should be done. Why should it be done? Because while being born itself, Brahmaji gives us the gift of action. Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmaya ji, he loves talking on these verses very beautifully. Expansively, he has spoken in his Bhagavad Gita talks, where he gives a very beautiful explanation about these verses. How Brahmaji, like how the mother sends the daughter by train, and in the last minute, she just throws one gift, one parcel gift inside as the train is leaving, and on your way you make use of it, she says. In the same way, Brahmaji, who has created us, he throws a gift to us, and he says, after you're born in this world, you open this gift called action and you do action. So that is this verse. Saha yajñah praja srishtva purovacha prajapatihi anena prasavishyadhvam eshavostvishta kamadhuk. Saha yajñaha prajaha srishtva. Along with yajna, along with offering, Brahmaji has created prajas, prakarshena jayate. The people who have been born very well, srishtva, puro uvacha. In the beginning, when he brought forth this creation, prajapatihi Brahma, the master of all prajas, the master of all creation, Brahmaji says, anena prasavishyadvam. By this action, multiply yourself. Prasavishyadvam esha vaha astu ishtakama. This yajna, this action of offering is your kama duk. Whatever you want to achieve in this world, you are achieving through action. That is, so whatever we really need to do when we collectively work together, when we think together, when we speak words together, like during the freedom movement, everybody spoke that word Vande Mataram. They all thought together and then they work together, whether it is Satyagraha, Salt Satyagraha, or Quit India movement, or many other programs and many other dharnas and many other strikes that they did together collectively in many places, getting beatings also and bloodshed, getting killed in so many manners, but fighting for one cause together, then success will be yours. Saha yajnaha yajna sahitaha prajaha trayo varnaha taha srishtva. So Bhagavan created the people of the three varnas, the three gunas, sattva guna, rajoguna, tamoguna, in preponderance of one guna, and like a lesser dominance of the other two gunas. In all the three categories of people, Brahmaji created Srishtva Utpadya, he created Pura Sargadau Uvacha. He said before the beginning of creation, Uktavan Prajapatihi, Prajanam Srashta. Who is Prajapati? The creator of beings. Anena Yajnena Prasavishyadvam. Create this yajna, hold on to this yajna. Yajna is a system. Follow this system. Prasavishyadvam. Then you create more and more. Vruddhihi, utpattihi, tam kurudvam. All of you produce more and more with the help of this system called the yajna. Yajna is collective effort. When people come together, each one pools in their resources, whatever they can give without, holding back for themselves, offering it, their love, their time, their service, their goods, their people, everything is offered for the collective cause. That becomes a yajna. Anena yajnena prasavishyadvam esha yajnaha vaha yushmakam astu bhavatu ishtakama dhuk. May this, he is giving a blessing. May this yajna. So if we want to survive well in this society, if we want to do well in this society, if we want to be prosperous in this society, we must have the right system, and all of us work single pointedly towards that right system. So that is yajna. Ishtakama dukkha. Whatever you want to achieve, all that will be possible through yajna. Ishtan abhipretan kaman phala visheshan dogdhi iti ishtakama dukkha. Kama, phala visheshan means different kinds of experiences. Not individually craving for certain experiences for myself, but participating in a collective effort and everybody together participating in yajna and achieving the benefits of that common projects and common services in society. Katham. How is it so? He is giving beautiful, he is giving a few verses here about how the devas will bless us. What if we do? We will get the blessings of the devas. And what will happen to them, and what will happen to what will happen to us, and what will happen to the devas. He's just giving the results of action, the results of yajna in a society. How will it work out? Devan bhavayatanena te deva bhavayantu vaham parasparam bhavayantaha shreyah paramavapsyatha ishtan bhogan hi vo deva dasyante yajna bhavitaha tairdattana pradayebhyaha yo bhungte stena yeva saha yajnashishtashinas santaha muchyante sarva kilbishaihi Bhunjate te tvagam papa ye pachantyatma karanat. So here in one verse, the 11th verse, how the devas bless us. In the 12th verse, who is a thief? And the 13th verse, how do we become sinful in life? These three are being explained beautifully by Bhagavan Shri Krishna to Arjuna in the context of Karma Yoga. Devan Indradin Bhavayata Vardhayata Anena Yagnena Te Deva Bhavayantu Apyayantu Vrishyadina Vo Yushman Evam Parasparam Anyonyam Bhavayantaha. Devan Bhavayata. You worship the Devas. You means all human beings. You worship the gods. Which are the gods? The powers of this universe. The power of the earth, the power of the water, the power of the sky, the power of the sun, the power of the moon, the power of the wind, the power of fire. Different powers are there in this universe. They're all the Devas. So you pay attention to them. You give what they need. They need attention in terms of our yajna and the chanting and the stotras and the flowers and the offerings. They need that attention. Devan Indradin Bhavayata. Indra and other devas, Indra, Varuna, Vayu, Rudra, Agni. So many gods are there, the Vedic gods. Bhavayata, you grow them, you raise them through yajna, and they will protect you. How will they protect you? They will give rain, they will give nourishment, they will bless this earth with whatever blessings that they can give within their powers. They will give it to you. Parasparam bhavayantaha means, so you support them and they support you. Parasparam bhavayantaha. So this is actually, even Puja Gurudev says, this yajna is a collective principle. As an individual, the deva is a collective. Like when you say in elections in Tamil Nadu or elections over the country, it says vox populi, vox dei. That the Latin word about the voice of people is the voice of God. Here also, when they say the people's mandate is God's mandate. So the collective principle becomes a God, the divine energy force. When every individual is working to that towards a collective principle, the collective principle in turn blesses the individuals with all the blessings of life, whatever they need. Yushman evam paramparam anyonyam bhaveda shreya param moksha lakshanam jnana prapti kramena avapsyatha swargeva param shreyaha avapsyatha. So you will get the best benefits of both, because only if it is a collective venture can we all engage in even divine activities like self realization, sitting in quietude, sitting in meditation. You need the whole atmosphere to be protected well by so many people, right from the border and from the nautical miles on the ocean, in the mountain ranges. Everywhere people are standing guard over our country. And the farmer is there in the fields, the industrialist is working for the industries, the laborer is toiling on the roads. Everywhere people are working. Even if you want to go by bus from one place to another, such a big system is working around that automobile industry to create that service for us. So we are not living in an island. Nothing is possible all on our own. So when we worship the collective blesses us with returns. Kimcha. And you can attain moksha also if this is possible. When you do such actions, the possibility for attaining self-realization is there, because you live in such a conducive society where you will be able to have the time, energy, and the focus, the mental focus, to inquire into higher order of questions of nature. The higher order of philosophy of nature, of existence is possible. And at the same time, even if you want to go to Swarga, the higher worlds, the better experiences of life is called Swarga. Even if you want to go there, also it is possible, only if you work collectively and work together as a yajna. Why? Who is a thief? Ishtan bhogan hi vo deva dasyante yajna bhavitaha. These devas, once everybody is offering to them, and these devas bless us with a lot of gifts. They give the gift of children, they give the gift of good health. They, everything is a gift to us. It is not like because of our effort we don't get it. Many beautiful things in this world that we enjoy and that we take for granted is all gifts from the devas. These gifts we get, ishtan bhogan, the different kinds of experiences the devas give you. Deva dasyante yajna bhavitaha. If they are pleased with your yajnas, they will give you all those gifts. Taihi dattan, to those gifts that we receive from the devas, apradayabhyaha, we do not share it with others. Meaning, if you do a big kumbhabhishekam and there are many trunk loads of prasada which get siphoned off to somebody's house, such a person, instead of giving that the whole kumbhabhishekam of the temple has happened because of the collective effort of so many people who have contributed. But when all that has happened, we see this is called corruption in society. We see it happening on a day-to-day basis everywhere. And if only one small portion is siphoned off to your own house and shared only by yourself or your members of the family, they are called stena. They are called a thief. Yo bhungte stena eva saha. So there is not much of explanation that's needed. We can understand when something is being used as a word of scolding. Ishtan abhipretan bhogan hi vo yushmabhyam deva dasyante वितरिष्यन्ति स्त्री पशु पुत्रादीन यज्ञ भाविता यज्ञैहि वर्धिताः तोषिताः. So in what ways do the devas offer their blessings? They bring in a lot of humanity into this world. They bring in human beings, stri, women, animals, pashu, putra, they bring in children. Everything is all blessing from the divine. And here the Purusha is not mentioned because he is the one who is striving, who is doing the yajna. So that fills up the whole cycle of this human society. So everything is being provided by the devas. Taihi devaihi dattan bhogan apradaya adatva anrinyam akrutva ityarthaha yebhyaha devebhyaha yo bhunkte swadehendriyani eva tarpayati stena eva taskara eva saha devadi swapahari. So these people who go in for all these blessings, enjoy all these blessings for their own sense organs, they are called thieves. Taskara, another name for thief, stena, and devadi swapahari. They are the people who steal the wealth of devas. They steal the wealth of the gods. So basically, the thought here is whatever you receive out of collective effort goes to the collective, goes to everybody. It has to be shared among everybody. And like I remember in those days, grandmothers, especially when they have a lot of sweets or some things they have made for all the grandchildren, there'll be a lot of them during the summer holidays. So every day they will just spend some time giving a little bit of whatever they have done. And then these children will be hankering after it. So one day, finally keep all the boxes there and distribute it to everybody and see and close all the boxes. See, nothing is there inside and put them away. So that is the way by which some collective effort we do. We distribute it to everybody and empty all the containers, not keeping anything specially for us for our own consumption. So that we don't become a thief in the eyes of Sri Krishna. यज्ञशिष्टाशिनः सन्तः मुच्यन्ते सर्वकिल्बिषैः भुञ्जते ते त्वघं पापा ये पचन्त्यात्मकारणात्. Who becomes a very blissful person, very blessed person, and who becomes a sinful person? Yajnashishta ashinaha santaha. The people, the good people who yajnashishta ashinaha, the offerings have been made to the devas have consumed them, consume them by taking up the bhava, taking up our love and our sense of offering, our sense of gratitude is being consumed in the form of the food by the devas. And then whatever they have touched is called yajna shishta ashinaha. Such the leftover prasad of the devas, muchyante sarva kilbishaihi. Such an offering which is received, tasted by the devas and given back to us, will free us from all kinds of problems, will give us its satisfaction of mind that swallows all the troubles and all the sense of failures, all the sense of misgivings in our mind. Everything is eaten up by that sense of blessing which we receive from what the devas have tasted and given us back. But such an offering, which has come back to us, returned by after tasting by the devas, bhunjate tu agam. People who eat that for themselves, ye pachanti atma karana. If you're even while cooking, it's a very simple thing. While we cook our daily food, instead of saying I am cooking for myself and my family, you say I am cooking as an offering for the gods. And then anyway the food is going to be available for us only, we can eat the food. But at least in words, at least in a little action of offering, when we do that, it becomes the food of the gods, and we are blessed by eating that food and sharing it with others. But instead you say I am cooking for my own self, ye pachanti atma karanat, for my own self, for my own experiences I'm doing this. Such people, bhunjate tu agham, they are only eating sin. What is sin? The mind, a disturbed state of mind is sin. So when you are cooking only for yourself, when you're cooking only for a little experience that you can get for yourself alone and not to be shared by anybody, then it is as good as eating sin. Deva yajnadin nirvartya tachishtam ashanam amritakyam ashitum shilam yesham te yajnashishtashinas santaha muchyante sarva kilbishaihi sarva papaihi. What are the different sins from which people are freed? This is basically for the grihastas, people, the householders. What are the daily sins that they can commit? There is a verse from the Manusmriti, I think. Agni chulli, Peshanam, Khandanam, Kartanam, then Marjanam. There are 5 activities like, heating firewood, where, many living beings die in that firewood, cutting, chopping something, and then Peshanam, grinding something, Udakumbaha, you are keeping a pot of water, and on sand you keep a pot of cool water, and then you take the pot, and lot of ants and all lose their livelihood, lose their home, because you have removed that pot from there the next day and you have removed the sand. And then you have every day you do sweeping. So because of all these actions, many beings are being killed. So there are 5 types of sins that a grihastha ends up doing automatically in the process of living their daily life. And the 5 types of yajnas prescribed for grihasthas to counter these are deva yajna, pitru yajna, nru yajna, bhuta yajna, and deva yajna, rishi yajna. So rishi yajna is offering of studying what the rishis have taught us from the Upanishads, the Shastras, the Puranas and the Itihasas, whatever it is. Every day spending some time thinking about what the rishis have given to us is rishi yajna. Deva yajna is lighting a lamp for the gods and making offerings for the gods on a day-to-day basis. Drawing the kolam outside the house or in the puja room, decorating with flowers, offering with flowers. All this is deva yajna. Chanting, singing of stutis and shlokas, deva yajna. Pitra yajna, serving parents when they are alive, and after they are gone, doing whatever the karmic obsequies and other work that is necessary to be done as part of the shraddha rituals and all that is pitru yajna. Rishi yajna, pitru yajna, deva yajna. Nru yajna is helping and serving other human beings. It can be members of our own family or members of our own community. serving each other, helping each other. So that is Nri Yajna. And then you have Bhuta Yajna, serving all the 5 elements, the earth, water, fire, air, and space, and all the other creatures living in the world, which make our life comfortable by their presence. You see the nitrogen cycle and the carbon cycle. You see how many creatures are involved in our own well-being and welfare. So that is Bhuta Yajna. Sarvapap. When you do these yajnas, all sins are gone. All the sins that we might have committed, all the disturbing actions that we might have done that disturbs our mind in turn, are all dissolved. If it is not done, the person is eating for their own fulfillment. Bhunjatetu agham. Papa ye pachanti atmakaranat. They are only eating sin. Itaha cha adhikritena karma kartavyam jagatchakra pravritti hetuhu hi karma katham iti uchyate. The next 3 verses we are going to see tomorrow. Like how I mentioned about the carbon cycle and the nitrogen cycle, here is the cycle of karma, cycle of action, which is protecting this world and which is making this world spin on its axis, and which is blessing us with everything good in our day-to-day life. So let us see that tomorrow. It's a very interesting verse. And if we have to live happily in the society, if we have to live happily in our family, what is it that we need to do? That we will look into it tomorrow. Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet, Om Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasorma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Boliye Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. Hare Namah Parvati Pataye. Hara Hara Mahadeva. Hari Om.